One over there.
Right.
And then
This
Yeah.
is what the grass is.
Well, that's part of the- here with me, he's elaborating the plan.
Aerospace, I get about charging $350 for each one, so, you know, when I negotiated what I did.
So then I go up there, I said, "Oh, that's that one."
We all had jet skis and boats,
Yeah.
and we got it for $5.
Do you have to start that?
It's like, somebody used airspace with a pontoon.
Why is it?
Really minor.
They're not gonna do it. It's a baby vegetable, I know all that. So,
And truthfully, once we get the seats on here, next couple of days, they're gonna get us.
they don't want
They got the rate, break down a little bit.
jet skis up like it's 20,000, right up to the.
What's the six?
Check.
the jet skis.
Sorry.
2 weeks from now, and so.
I'm gonna charge $350. Well, you can put pontoon. I
Like,
asked.
Back it up.
They just leave it. So he has.
that means it's much harder to start.
It depends how much you do. You gotta take it slow.
It doesn't show you. So you gotta slow it down. Before you get this out.
Make a great scene, what would make good fast, so I get some bracket.
That's Zoom.
And I could put that some.
If
If you don't get anything there, it's made.
Is that kind of
Well, I get the wood to make a seat in the back out of the stuff that's down. Yeah, it's so the pieces from here to the.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because of those.
You will leave this.
I'll measure that. I got a roller.
I really couldn't get that other familiar one, the time free to get home.
Yeah,
I don't know that we. You ever done that?
Sometimes.
You never know.
No, you know.
Any day for me here.
Oh, yeah, he did. Right.
You're an official now.
So then, two away, but I try to help us to maybe this. And I talked to him about it, and he just says, well, it's an organization. Yeah,
We got 5
The
minutes.
bullies.
Okay,
Pretty
well,
good, yeah.
Don't have anything else.
yes, ma'am.
Where's your trailer in there? You guys didn't have it in there yet? Oh, I did, I must have missed it.
How could you miss?
The miracles never cease, do they, after 20 years? man? We got paved roads.
Right.
Next thing you're gonna have stoplights and wide streets.
Notes thing.
But don't tell them.
If upside down, use weight remote left orange button, reposition screen.
I don't know what the color.
So I'm doing right.
Left orange button.
There's other meetings.
Know that. No worries.
Well, it's nice. Yeah, there needs to be maybe a little. Just maybe against that. Here's really.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Roller. Now they have. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how to get it. The city.
No, there's nothing but. I had to sit there for the whole thing and I'm just sitting all this cold water. But I can just swim, you can call me that. Laundromat.
So it's like, I know. It's
They did. Just like that. At one. So sorry, I know. Not looking at it.
That's a first too.
Oh, that's what this is. Next week.
Well, the end of the word today, I want to go. I'm swimming here. The pledge, allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. First thing on the agenda is approval of minutes for the April 11th meeting. Did everybody have a chance to go through those online? Is there any discussion or corrections of the minutes? Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept as printed.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And before we start, I just want to tell everyone that we lost a board member. He resigned. But he was the harbor master, Mr. Bush.
Still is.
Still is. He's gonna volunteer to keep doing that, but he decided he didn't want to be on the board anymore, so we're waiting on, I think it's up to the commissioners.
Yeah, it's a commissioner.
To appointment, so assuming they'll hopefully appoint someone soon, we can have a full board again. And Mr. Ritzler couldn't be here tonight because his in-laws are having health issues and had to be with his wife. So we're a little short. Okay, Kramer Beach report.
They were down today and painted the guardrail. It's got a new coating of aluminum paint on it. Looks beautiful. We installed the last two benches. They're setting in concrete, so they should be safe to use in a day or so. We tried to block them off so nobody would use them tonight, but we're hoping. So that's it. We're pretty much done.
Good. Anything else about that? No. Bass Lake Beach Trailhead Committee report. That was Mr. Ritzler, but he's not here, so Tracy's gonna do it.
Yeah, just a briefing. Had a little meeting with Dave Pearman this morning, a Zoom meeting. There were a couple others invited, but Rick was one of them, and he's my main guy to help me with this. To make a long story short, Dave's going to May 18th. We are scheduled to go to a meeting with the council at 6 o'clock. I think it's a Thursday night. And Dave's going to take the lead on trying to get the matching funds for the grant. You know, there's a possibility that you know, if they commit to the 500,000 that we need. And we're not gonna get this money or get this grant till probably a year, you know. And if, you know, in the meantime, we can raise money, you know, we just have to have the commitment before the grant goes in on June 1st. So, there's really not a whole lot to tell on that because I won't know much more until the May 18th meeting and see what the council says. You know, I talked to Troyer, who's running the show on that, and you know, you can still, even if, say, the council says they'll give us 400,000, then we go for 400,000. It's an $800,000 grant. But we are able to get 1.4 million. But that would be 700,000 matching, and I just know that's not gonna happen. But you know, we can still go for the grant and not get all of it, but the project, they projected the way they bid everything out, and it was 1.3 million to do what we want to do. Doesn't mean we have to do all of that, you know. So I guess the next step is the meeting May 18th, and we'll see what they say. And all we can do on that.
Yes.
Since I'm on that committee, can I come to that meeting? Or is that a closed meeting?
No, it's a public council meeting. Yep, absolutely. I'll remind you.
Yeah, anybody can attend those meetings. Just like this meeting. And if anybody has a large sum of money, they want. Good
I
use.
mean, it doesn't have to be 700, 5 would be grand, you know, I mean,
Any amount would be appreciated.
$5.
Or pair of shorts.
What time is that meeting?
6 o'clock, May 18th, it's a Thursday,
Here.
No.
correct?
Anything else about that meeting? Okay, next is a forest report. Bruce,
Well, I thought maybe Bruce would be back, but doesn't look like he was. I'll just briefly say that too. Along with the Northern Indiana Community Foundation, we have scheduled a World Environment Day, and I did bring copies of this if anybody wants one. It's scheduled for Sunday, June 4th and Monday, June 5th. There's gonna be forester, people that are gonna talk, you know, about forestry. There's gonna be a couple of hikes. We're hoping to have, you know, a couple of food vendors, porta potties, maybe get some little, you know, fun bags, a little scavenger hunt for the kids on Sunday or something like that. All of this will be funded through the Forest Fund. Actually, Northern Indiana Community Foundation is going to fund a lot of it because they have grant money that they need to use too. So if they, you know, if there's things we don't cover, that they don't cover, then, you know, Bruce is all about using the Forest Fund for the events that we want to have. And we may add more events to this too as it comes once he gets back.
We have these up here if you guys would like to have them. Or we'll post them
We'll
around.
put them out campground and
Put them in the
Coons
library.
Lake and
Yeah.
Forest, and we'll put them all around.
And if any of you've never been to the Starke County Forest, it is a beautiful piece of property. A lot of beautiful trees, a lot of wildlife. Bruce is very knowledgeable. He's very interesting. And I'm sure this will be a fun event, especially with these.
There's still no fish in there.
Yeah, no fishing.
I think.
There's a couple of marshes back there,
There's
with,
some-
you know, water ball and stuff,
There's some
but yeah, I
ponds.
think he's
There's
probably
no
out on
fish
that.
inside. I took my girls out there to go fish one day and saw no fish inside. I was like, oh, that's shame.
Okay, Bass Lake Beach DNR confirmation of mooring rights.
Okay, Tracy was extremely successful after many attempts. Obviously, every DNR has a different perspective on what the rules are, but in trying to get confirmation, as we spoke at the last meeting, for you all to make a decision to allow us to prohibit mooring of boats on our riparian rights. There was the Lieutenant Sean Brown did send a letter. I'm just going to read it to Tracy. It says the riparian rights were transferred when property was sold to the county. The county has the right to allow or not allow piers and moorings from the shore out to 300 feet, just like any other riparian owner. A person having an unattended anchored boat for mooring in the riparian zone would need permission from the owner. So with that being said, and us having that in writing, and you'll have a copy of that in your packet. I would like to see you pass a motion that we can go ahead and erect the signs stating that mooring of any boat will be prohibited.
What's gonna be the penalty?
The only recourse we have is to be able to call the DNR, and the DNR will be the one that comes out and tells them they have to remove the boat.
We would like red tag it, give them 5-7 days or whatever, and if not, the DNR said, then you call us with the registration number and they move it from there.
So 5 to 7 days, I mean.
Well, we haven't decided what
Let's decide so they can.
days. What do you think? I mean,
I think 7's adequate, just simply because oftentimes people will come in and moor in their boat and go off to Chicago, and we may not be able to get a hold of them, or someone's not gonna tell them. I
I
think,
would agree with that. My only thought is, if it's 7 days, it's not a stiff penalty. And you're gonna have people that may be out there doing that, several of them.
can't disagree. How about 3 days?
How about an immediate call? I mean, you guys probably see the problem more than us, and I just think if we don't put it with a bite to it, then it'll be abused one way or the other.
this is a lot of these property owners' concerns is how everybody just throws their boats at the end of our,
Absolutely.
you know, and I get it.
Yeah.
I don't,
Immediate
yeah,
red tag, I like that.
So, and you notify the DNR and then it's up to the DNR to enforce.
They'll come out, they'll get all their boat information, their tag number, they'll contact them and say they're illegally parked.
Okay, and what happens if they don't move the boat?
I don't know, because I don't think that we would want to get into being responsible for removing it at their expense.
No.
I
but-
think that the DNR would strongly enforce that.
But you think the DNR fines them or what do they, you don't know what the DNR does as punishment. So
Yeah.
glad-
Only thing I have to compare that to is when we called about the boats up at Kramer Beach.
That,
Yeah,
previous years, they would take it to the marina and impound it. So we-
DNR
We put
would,
that option.
the DNR did that.
Yeah, if there was something that was illegal, they would take it there and impound it.
But I was gonna say, when we addressed the boats at Kramer Beach last year, when I contacted the DNR, they were out within a day.
Mhm.
By the time they got out there, because we had called that one gentleman, they had already moved a couple of them. By the next day, the boats were gone. So that's the only thing, and those were actually boats up on shore, but they still came out, identified them, because some of them had been there since like 10 years. But they did that real quickly for us.
My suggestion would be, I mean, if you're gonna have signs posted out there,
yeah,
I'd say if somebody parks their boat out there, then if they're visible and you can tell them not to, no harm, no foul, if they cooperate. But if they don't, or they're not there, then I would call DNR right away.
Okay, do you suggest we continue with our thought on red tagging us, so people know the DNR has been contacted?
I'm fine with that.
When we red tag shore stations that are improperly placed. so I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
why
not
we
gonna
couldn't
hurt
do
anything.
that.
Yeah.
A question on that. So like for people that are coming into the camper, like say a weekender comes and they bring their boat that they don't have a split for, where would they park?
Well, this goes back to, and I think Tracy can support me on this, it's with permission.
Okay,
Yeah.
So the problem we've had is that people leave them there all season.
right. And I don't disagree with that. I just didn't know about like day people or like weekenders.
If
things
you're a
like that.
camper at our campground and you're here for the weekend, I don't think that we would have problem granting you permission for a couple of days to moor in your boat there while you enjoy your camp stay.
Okay,
You agree?
I agree.
Okay.
Just looking at the perspective of somebody that's like pulling up to moor their boat and they see, other boats already moored out there, and not knowing that they, had permission was sought, like just seeing that firsthand, that would prompt me to be like, I'm gonna go ahead and park my
Well,
boat
we
right there.
discussed
I think we
putting
could
with,
put it in a designated area too, the camper boat.
You could
I-
even put a tag on there, approved or something, that way. If one of the campers see one out there, then they know not to call somebody about it because it's already approved.
well, I don't want to get ahead of you all making a decision, but it's kind of segueing into a situation where we're going to begin dealing with on Friday. as a result of this public hearing and us not being able to get the permits until June, we have tried to extend an olive branch to our patrons because they want to get their boats in the water by Memorial Day. So I'm working with Tom, Gary Leiter, and myself. We'll be out there Friday and Saturday this week, Friday, Saturday next week. And we're giving them permission to moor their boats in a designated area. So we're already going to have these boats out there moored with our permission, so that when the piers get in, they can just slide their boats to the dock. We had to do something. Because, and I understand their plight. I talked to you, Mr. Ballard, before we made this decision, that it's alleviated some of the disappointment, I should say, which, I mean, obviously, everyone has been so gracious when I've called. They know that this was nothing we could have controlled, but we felt that it would be a good move to at least let them get in the water for Memorial Day.
I don't disagree.
So we're starting that on Friday. People are going to be seeing these boats moored there. So back to your question is perhaps we could reword the sign to say by permission only, but then, oh, never mind.
I have a question. These people, the people who are renting,
Yes,
do you make a list of, do you have their boat information?
absolutely.
Oh, okay, so
All their hull numbers. there, yeah.
then it's really simple to come out there if they don't match those.
And those that are coming out that we've spoken to, we have recommended that they get one of the float keychains. You know, the float
Yeah.
up there, tie it to their, either tie it to their auger or tie it to their shore station with their name and phone number on it. But we are going to have a list because we're specifically setting them. We will know
Right.
these augers belong to John Brown or whomever.
Those are the only the ones that are on our piers,
Yeah, no one
not
else.
just
Another
outside.
question now. You're talking about these keychain, floating keychain holders or whatever. What would it take us to buy 20 of them or 30 of them, just have one hand and sell them to them as if somebody doesn't have one?
If we could get them by Friday, I
Well-
don't know that that would be a bad idea, but you gotta love Amazon. Amazon loves
Maybe.
us.
According to what I've seen in the
Yeah, we said-
financials, you guys are pretty good friends.
Well.
That's a
we haven't got
nice
the financial
idea.
report yet.
That's very nice if you guys want to do that, but most of us boat owners have the
Have 'em.
buoys ourselves already because we need them. And all we have to do is put our names on those. The only thing I can see that where you're gonna have trouble is because years ago, when we were allowed to just put an auger there, when you go out to the water, people that are coming in think that you've just been nice and put those augers out there for everybody to use.
Sure.
So. you know,
This is the reason we're hoping that on Friday and Saturday, when you all come, and I know you're coming with your two, that your boat's there with it. I mean, that's the whole intent of this exercise was to have that boat to that auger. So no one else can auger to you, but I understand some have to get with Larry's Marina to get boats delivered. We're dealing with a lot of obstacles.
I think people are willing, they know that this is something that is out of everyone's control. So.
Thank you for that.
I think that most people are going to be receptive to, there are going to be issues that come up and we'll just figure it out.
And we're gonna have to patrol it for a while till the
Yeah.
word gets out, that's,
It's
we're
gonna-
out there all the time, it's just. Once, word of mouth's the best advertisement, once.
Is that something we can put on WKVI as information?
Right, there's the gentleman.
Main man,
You need. I haven't-
Like maybe a PSA.
Make an announcement.
Yeah.
Do a
You know.
PSA that.
Public service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that way, if we run that a few times and let
But-
people know
How
that.
exactly
It's very
what you
critical.
Want me to,
Justin, that they understand that this is a first come, first serve. We only have so much area for them to moor in their boats.
I think you were just talking about no mooring of boats without
Absolutely.
permission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I
this
think
extra-
the
yeah, no,
campers,
that'll definitely get.
Yeah.
yeah, the campers will have the information on where and when and all that stuff.
Right.
It's the public, just letting them know
Angelina, Dick. I don't wanna cloudy the waters here, but if they're gonna moor their boat, DNR requires them to put a buoy out there, a buoy with their name, address, and phone number. Whether it's 2 days or 2 weeks. So they have to identify that auger right from the start with a buoy.
They
Which is
understand.
what Lisa just said, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But she didn't mention it at the letter, did you?
She said,
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
we have
That's what
this,
they did.
so we'll put our names on
Yeah,
it. There's.
But you have to have your name, address, and phone number on that buoy, so they will be identified.
That's
what's
perfect.
If they do it
So
legally.
everybody knows.
And that's at their expense.
We're gonna have the whole map. We're gonna know who's where also too, so.
Yeah, but I mean, they know they have to have a buoy or.
Yeah, they know they have to have their augers, their boats identified.
Yeah.
The boat comes with the augers, it's a moot point because it's on the boat.
And it is gonna take some policing to begin with.
And hopefully it's short term till we get the permits and everybody gets slid into their place and
Yeah.
this all goes away. But with that being said, would you all consider making passing a motion to allow us to put those signs up and move forward with that
Yeah,
plan?
I would make a motion that, we allow, the superintendent to put up the, signs. And violators, will be subject to DNR notification immediately.
There's a second.
And something I want to throw in. To add to that. Yeah, that'll work. But I would want that sign to also, be, something so that they know this is temporary, this isn't for the whole year. Once we get our,
No, the riparian rights will be
forever.
forever.
well,
Those are the
I
signs
understand
that-
that.
I'm not talking about, our
The
campers that are gonna be
The
out there.
signs will
Alright,
be
alright.
forever that there is no
Okay,
illegal mooring of boats.
Overnight mooring. I mean, if somebody wants to come in for a picnic and leave that day, that's, one
All right.
thing.
For a public beach, so.
So there's,
I second it.
there's a motion and a second, all in favor?
Right.
All right. When will the piers be put in, you know yet?
We don't know anything till after May 22nd meeting.
So you have to wait for them.
Then and I guess that was next anyway.
Yeah, well,
You got a question?
I got a couple, but the one is, your sign you're gonna put up, is it gonna be two-sided? So you can see it from shore and the water?
Should-
So when they
it's gonna be
pull
from
up,
the water in, that's who's gonna see their snow mooring because they're gonna come from the waterway.
okay,
I did have one more question as far as your comment, when pulling your boat out away from your auger. And somebody, just slipping right in, basically, tagging your auger, is there some sort of like private property, ownership, like?
We do have
Trespassing.
signs for the piers that say pier slip holders only, and hopefully through the help of your radio station and Facebook, people will get the word out. This is a temporary situation, and those are out there by permission.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to like what.
Which the rest will have it says pier slip holders only, no diving, no fishing, that are by all of our piers.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have your boat identified, right? Your
Yes.
auger identified. So, I mean, again, if somebody violates that, you contact the DNR, right? They're the ones to deal with it. Okay. Anything else about that?
yeah,
Yes.
I just wanna know what the Indiana code was, the number.
Oh, with the riparian, right?
Yeah, for the Indiana code number. They're gonna,
I don't know.
Terry, I have that. I don't have it with me, but I'll get it to you this weekend. How's that?
thank you.
Okay. Superintendent's report.
Well, let's go back to that public hearing and the piers, the DNR. I'm not gonna elaborate on this a lot. I'm tired and done explaining about it. It is what it is. The meeting is May 22nd at the Bass Lake Property Owners Building at 5 o'clock. It's a Monday. We've reached out to a lot of people. So what happens is at the meeting, it is not a question and answer meeting. The DNR will not answer any of your questions about what's going on at this end of the lake and the marina and they're not gonna. They listen to the opposing side and they listen to our side. They gather all the information, they take it back to Indianapolis and they present it to a committee. which she said takes about a week or so. After that, there's an 18-day grace period for someone else to appeal. So we're really looking at around June 18th, 19th before we can even start. And there's nothing we can do. So I can't. It is what it is. It's out of our hands.
I do want to add, as I said, we reached out, I personally called every peer slip holder and explained to them, encouraged them to come to the meeting if they were so interested. And not one person blamed us. They all said they realized it was the act of one person. And so I just want to express how grateful we are, how understanding our patrons have been. That speaks volumes compared to last year. Again, there's going to be more credits issued on top of the credits already given. So when we look at revenue coming in from peers, they're going to be very minimal this year.
We'll have to prorate it somehow.
We
That's all
did that
can
last
do.
year by the week.
Right.
Yeah, that was approved last year anyway, so I mean, we just used the same format there.
Okay, anything else on that? Superintendent.
We met with Mary from the festival a couple of weeks ago, and I think we're all set for festival weekend. With all of the events, the car show and, providing her information on what she needs to supply, the porta potties, the dumpsters, at their expense, parking signs, just all kinds of stuff. I think we're pretty good there.
Good.
The lift station, we are just waiting for the control panel to be in. And they are projected to, if not before, start ripping that all apart and putting in the new stuff end of next week. It was some special, the actual lift station pumps and stuff came in, but some special made control panel that's, it's always something,
And when are they?
But we are full up and running. We're just using the old one and just having DSNS come and pump it out as needed. It's just what we have to do but we are up and running.
When do they believe the new one will be done?
Well,
Completed?
it depends when the control panel comes in.
So they don't know.
Mid-May was.
They're hoping. Okay.
And he
Kind of like
anticipates
years
it's
going in.
only taking a couple of days to complete the project. So once they get everything, I think
Goes fast.
hopefully it will go fast.
Billy Montgomery was out and repaired the bladder tank that was under warranty. We just had to pay his labor charge for that, so that's all up and running. Talked to Steve, we approved at the last meeting, the pier that he had for the fingers allowed $3,500. He's charging $2,400, but I said we may need some hardware to go with that. Talked to him first of the week, he's supposed to get with me, Steve Barrett, and count all of the hardware for that pier and see what we need, so. And, by the time these piers go in, his summer's gonna be over as far as putting piers in, so he'll be ready for us. All of his piers will be in. The diving platform, which Sam scheduled, we were hoping a total success. We were out there working one day and all of a sudden there was DNRs everywhere, trucks and divers and boats and. Another long story short, they were unsuccessful. They tried with their boats and then they got Hauser out with
No.
his.
I called Hauser, but they dispatched Bauer Towing. Unbeknownst to me, when I thanked them on Facebook, I was brought to my attention that was not Hauser, it was Bauer.
Oh.
And I just wanted to say that because he donated his time. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. He donated his time, broke his cables twice. They just couldn't budget. So DNI put a
They said it
out.
flipped upside down and part of it's concrete and they were 55-gallon drums, God knows how many to make that 20 by 20. It's buried in the sand and they took responsibility and said, we will put injured buoys out.
Yeah, the
Which
problem.
they came out the other morning at 7 o'clock in the morning and did that.
The problem with that is, I mean, it's sat in there so long and And the front, if you're pulling it, it's not gonna go. It's just gonna push that dirt more and bury it more. It's something that's gonna have to be either dredged out and then pulled, lifted and pulled. But just pulling it's not gonna
Right,
do it.
I think that's in their hands now since they kind of took over,
So
you
they're
know,
gonna continue
well,
or just move it?
they didn't really say anymore. They said that morning, the guy said. No matter what, this is coming out today, and by the end of the day, he said it's not coming out. So
They worked.
I say
all day.
they know about it, they took responsibility for it, so if something happens, I feel that they would be responsible, they marked it, they. Until they decide, you know, they're the DNR, if we try to do that, you know, we can't put anything in the water, we have to get permits, blah, 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 so.
Can you guys follow up with them maybe in a month or so, just to see if they've got any new ideas?
That was out of report, when was the last thing?
I've been driving by it looking for it. I was like, dang, they cleaned up the mess real good.
We're fast.
Yeah. The next day, I was like, it's gone.
And I'd like to thank Sam for.
Exactly, cause they were all there and
We've been trying forever.
you should have heard the rumors going around then, with all them DNR trucks there.
Okay.
Campground roads, the county's been out there doing their little gig and. They did a little bit more tomorrow, they should finish tomorrow, today, we're out there again, they should finish tomorrow. If any of you have not been out there yet, it's worth a trip. Beautiful. I'll just say that much. They did a wonderful job.
Good, yeah. Okay. Financial report.
You don't have anything to report.
Well, this is true, I really don't have anything to report on that because I tried to read like the monthly bills from the day after our last meeting till today. And nothing gets paid until the 15th of May, so, we do have some bills, you know, like pumping out the. Lift station, you know, we do have some bills, next time I'll have a lot to report, just buying, you know, supplies that we need for the bathrooms, you know, we had up. You know, toilet paper, paper towel cleaning, you know, all of that stuff was, you know, time to jump in and start getting all of that. The lift station, you know, once they get that finished, we'll just have the labor part of that to pay for, so. Like I said, there really wasn't, we paid for the bladder tank repair and. Normal NIPSCO and
Internet.
all of that fun stuff.
I've got a couple questions on it. The mileage, what are we paying mileage for?
Well, what that happened there was, and we called the county highway, because Rick said something about that last time. When we get our gas and lawnmower gas and everything from the county highway, Amanda was putting it under mileage instead of, we have a line for gas, oil and lube, and she was putting it under mileage.
Okay,
So Rick had asked me to get that changed, which we talked to her about that.
okay, so we're not paying mileage.
I think
You
you have
pay
a
me a
little
little
bit.
bit. It depends if I have to go to the campground 3 times, it's minimal. If I have to go to town to pick stuff up, I, you know, maybe
$25
if
or,
that.
So what about the county vehicle that you guys have? You don't use that?
She does all the time.
But you don't.
But I'm saying if I'm at the campground and we need something from Smith's and she's off on another, she's at a different location.
I got it.
If the truck's there, we utilize
but those bigger amounts were,
it. They were, yeah.
she just put those under the wrong.
All right, and then my other question was, we've got internet and MediaCom out there?
No, that's internet, and then that bill was paid to MediaCom. The internet is just the line,
Okay.
the category.
All right.
Rick had mentioned something last time about health insurance to watch that because I was looking at it, which is out of my control because that's automatically
Right.
taken out through Rachel. The dates and everything were messed up and they were taking like $700 some out, like 5 days in a row.
I
And
saw
it
that.
was- yeah, I'm like, so I talked to her about that and she said the health insurance company had everything messed up, so they had to redo it. And in order to catch it all up, it was just put in there that way. So from this day, that day forward, there will just be those 2 amounts once a month. Because I told her I was gonna be broke really fast at that rate.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on with that.
$700 coming out of the day. So yeah, that's where that's at.
That was all I had.
Okay. Any other business? Anyone has? Yes, sir.
Yeah, the campground has never looked so good. I've been coming down there since the sixties. It's absolutely,
There are three people here to thank. These two ladies? Yep. And Randy. that
This
lady
like
there
one
too.
lady.
three ladies.
Okay,
So everybody who's involved with that has done a spectacular job.
That's great to
Like,
hear.
it looked really good, you do, chips or, ground asphalt. They've done a very nice job getting it in there. So I just want to say that, and then the other thing is there gonna be a new RV pump station or RV dump station out there?
The dump station is going to be relocated
Why is it going to be relocated?
because twofold. One is it's a straight shot to the lift station. Where now we're dumping, when everybody dumps, it's going all the way through. In addition to all our shower water, all our gray water.
Right.
Putting it there is going to make it a less run, less opportunity for backup. Second fold is, people don't want to smell that when the campsites that are around that dump station have had more picnics ruined than they like to think about. That will alleviate that. Having cleared that area out, there's plenty of room to make a pull around. It's just gonna be tight, it's gonna be clean.
Okay, I understand about the smell thing, I get that, everybody stinks. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with that dump station. It's been there for 60 years.
And for a change,
Okay, time for a change, that's all I wanted to know.
okay,
I'm
But I
good.
think that's where it backed up last year
No,
too,
it
right?
didn't,
Okay,
it backed
I
up,
wasn't there.
yeah, it backed up coming from the showers and the bathroom.
Yeah.
What's the cost on that
Okay,
project?
time for change, I got that. What, do you have any idea what that costs?
It's all included in that total 25,000 or whatever that we're spending. That's part of it.
For the grant?
No, for the new lift station and
that was approved.
the
last
labor and
year.
all of that. That was approved last December or January.
Yeah, we approved it already.
That's all included in that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I moved down there in 2001. And I think when you guys took over in September, what's it been, 2 years ago or something? Anyway, that following spring, I got on you guys' bad. The grass was this high, mowed and everything. I'd never seen anything that bad since I've been there. Well, if you go through there today, I've never seen anything that good since I've been there. It is really, really improved. Like I said, if there's people in this room haven't gone back there to see, there's blacktop road in there now. And they're gonna finish that tomorrow, a tribute to these two. And I know the people in here that volunteer and work too, they do a good job. And that's like a miracle. I don't know, maybe she wants to run for mayor or something, you know, the next time.
That's a county, that's a county.
Sam, Sam, before this committee was formed, I was on that diving board with the commissioners, that nobody has ever got responsibility or been able to take it out. I don't know how you did it when you announced that meeting and then the next month we're going, but that's a miracle in itself. And yeah, I was there when they were pulling it out. They broke 2 cables on that truck, too, just happened that. So looking forward to that, man, it's really, really looking good. So hell of a good job, to everybody.
Platforms out.
No, they tried, they broke 2 cables. I didn't pull nothing out. I was there all day long. They didn't pull nothing out.
They tried, but the DNRs decided, they put a danger to it together.
They were.
11 DNR cars there, and I think about 60. I didn't know the state had that many there.
Same guy.
Like the whole DNR.
You'll see them when they're looking for a body.
Well, we appreciate it. We told you in the beginning that it would get better. And it's just gonna take time, and hopefully every year it gets a little better.
The other thing I wanted to say, this guy was at the Bass Lake homeowners meeting on Saturday. That petitioned for that pyramid. And he got a little bit of heat, I think a little bit more than he expected in that. And if you were at the meeting
At 8:01 at this time, I talked to Tracy for this many minutes. I talked to the DNR and this day, he's got all that taken out, man. But I didn't expect him to come here. I don't know if he's gonna wanna go to the other meeting in that, but. You know, he put up a brand new pier. It's aluminum, it's 300 feet out. Exactly, so that's $1,000 a 10-foot section, I think. He put that up last week.
But if any of you
Maybe,
guys.
maybe you
I
ought to
think it's
go
gonna
over there
be-
on the holiday or something, you gotta put your boat back there and use part of that pier, I don't know.
I hope the property
I'm
owner
gonna go
building
fish
is big
through.
enough from the response we've got, so.
And we hope that you board members will attend and support us as well.
What's the date on that? The
22nd,
22nd?
5 PM.
Yep, I just started.
That's a Thursday.
Monday.
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 Is there anything else anybody like to bring up? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Second?
All
In favor, aye, we're adjourned. Thanks for coming, folks.
Really? You were a little late.
Good job, Grace.